Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 6 of my City Skylines playthrough, where I'm building the city of Cuaveopolis. In the last episode, if you'll recall, we built the industrial town of Summitsville, which you can see to the right-hand side of my screen. I'm not going to bore you with a recap. If you haven't seen it, go watch the last video. It was decent. It was okay. I don't know. Hopefully you liked it. Whatever. Today, we are going to be expanding some of our residential areas in our, I say downtown, but more, just kind of our central city area. The first place that I want to start is probably over here near the school, because we've painted an industrial area. It's pretty big, and I'm thinking, in reality, that's too much. That's just going to cause too much traffic, all that stuff. So I think we should add just a few homes kind of in between these roads and the high school. Alright, it gave us the default name Beechwood Heights, which it's not bad, but it's nothing special. Let's go ahead and lay out a few roads, shall we? Okay, I think that's as good a place as any to start. We're going to go ahead and throw some of the similar styles that we put on for our suburb. We're going to go ahead and just put some single-family homes, so we're going to do things like big suburbs. We're going to do American Eclectic, American Suburban. Alright, so let's go ahead and start zoning some housing. And while we are waiting for people to move in, gonna plant a few trees by the railroad tracks. So yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot special here. I want to make it as nice as I can. We can see maybe if we need police, fire, anything like that. Maybe if I gave them a medical clinic, that would help raise the land value a little bit. I wonder if I could fit one. Could I fit one over there? Would it look weird to throw this by the railroad track? Let's see. I think that looks fine. Yeah, a little health clinic right there. Alright, yeah, you can see people are moving in. The residential demand is still, like, absolutely pegged to the top. So, well, let's keep on marching. Let's add some more houses. Alright, now when I make neighborhoods, sometimes I kind of like to look at the names it auto-generates for me and use that as inspiration for what I'm gonna do. This one's called King Square. And for something to be called a square, I feel like it has to have, like, a central square, obviously. So I think that's what I'm gonna do for this area. So let's build a road. There we go. That's King Square. We might rename it to something a little cooler, but the game wants it to be a square, then a square it will be. And then let's go ahead and Alright, there we go. The beginnings of our street grid for King Square. I'm not mad at the way that looks. I like having a little bit of a variation in this stuff. The roads are a little curvy over here, and here they're all like dead straight, almost to a fault. These blocks here are super long though. Maybe I should... Alright, we got some people moving in, but let's start thinking about our services again here. So let's go ahead. Police look okay. Fire actually looks okay. Health, not so much. I want to go through and build a bunch of hospitals in a later video. But for the time being, we'll just stick with these health clinics. You can see we're not doing great on our availability. So some hospitals will come soon. Let's go ahead and look at school. Elementary schools, kind of borderline. Let's just add a small one in the neighborhood somewhere. Yeah, right there. Awesome. People are moving in. Now let's focus on the square itself. I think we should use this as an opportunity to do a little walkthrough of the Parks and Plazas DLC, just in case, if you're watching, you're not familiar with how that works. You go into your districts over here, and we're going to go ahead and just paint a park area. Just do it right on the square. Beautiful. Then we go into our parks menu. And we're going to go into this little white arch here, City Park. And we'll put a small park main gate right there. And a park side gate right there. And I'm actually going to use Move It just to kind of get that nice and centered with the road, at least as well as we can. Cool. Okay, so then from there, I'm going to take a park path. And I'm going to connect those up. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here, add some side gates. And I'm actually cool with where those are because it'll look a little bit more centered. And boom. Okay, so now, by default, the people want to go through here, they have to pay $10. I'm going to make it free. I'm not going to charge people to go to this tiny little park. But what I think I might do is put a plaza in the middle of this, so I'm actually going to get rid of what I just did. And I'm going to go and find, you can, put these different buildings down, one of which is the Park Plaza. So I'm going to take this, try to get it, like, right in the middle. Yeah, there we go. And then I'm going to take a path, and to the best I can, well, maybe cheating a little bit, I'm going to draw a square around it, and then connect these paths back up. And boom, we got a little park plaza right in the middle there. I might add a few of these gazebo type shelters. I like these things. Put one there. And then I might put one of the green ones over here. Very nice. And then just to finish it off, I'm going to take the park fence and basically just connect these up here. I'm going to turn node snapping off if I can. I guess that looks fine. And then what putting up a fence does, you can see it actually disables the zoning there. And it just makes everything look just a little bit cleaner, a little bit nicer. Go ahead and fix this weirdness right there. And boom, people like it. People are hanging out in the middle meadows. I don't like that name. At the very least, we're going to call it King Square. I'll probably change that name too. For anything I build in this city, for you watching at home, if you got a suggestion for a name, you got an idea for some lore, some backstories and whatnot for people that lived in the town or who had businesses here, things like that, drop that down below in the comments. I'd love to hear your suggestions for naming things. Also, just suggestions for what to build or what to redevelop, what to like completely bulldoze and get rid of. Like, if you don't like something I do, like, still let me know. I'd really love to hear your feedback. I hate when the rain comes on. Well, with all of these houses being built in King Square and such a high demand, I do think we need to build some more high-density stuff. But I really don't think we can do that without expanding our downtown grid a little bit. And doing that is going to require some thinking because our downtown is going to be integral to the way our whole city works, right? And it's also going to be our financial hub, pretty much. So I was going to hold off on building the stock exchange, and I probably still will. But I'd like to find a place where it should go at the very least. And kind of we can establish our central business district at some point in the near future. And truthfully, the longer I look at this, the more I do want to incorporate some of this interesting terrain into the downtown. So I think the first thing I can do for sure is just extend this road. Whoops. Gotta turn these back on. Extend this road basically to there-ish. Yeah. Cool. Decently flat. And probably the same thing here. And this is our main road still. We want to think about where this is going to be in relation to our downtown. I think it would make sense to have a bridge over here of some kind. Also over this way. So it'll probably go one of two ways. But, okay, I would kind of like... I'm also trying to think about where we'd like our skyline to be sort of centered. And I think I kind of want it to center, like, right here. Kind of build up, and then be all the tallest buildings right here. And then kind of go back down. And then I want this to be a giant waterfront park, which we've discussed before. And then this area kind of to be determined. I mean, this might be some more buildings kind of like Waltham. Is probably the realistic answer, but also maybe some more parks and some other stuff. We'll see. So we don't have to get too technical with all of this. I just kind of want to find something that's roughly the middle of that and just kind of send it up that way. And then I kind of want to make this a little bit special. So I'm going to do kind of what we did in King Park and just make this another... Oh, that's not right. I made that so lopsided. Yeah, it's a little lopsided, but we'll just say, you know, it was made in historic times before they had good measuring systems or whatever. Who cares? It's our world. Alright, so this is kind of going to be the center of our downtown over here. So that's pretty useful to know. I think that gives us permission to pretty much fill these blocks in with more of this high density stuff. Alright, and now that we've zoned that, let's see if that even takes a dent out of our residential demand. We're currently at 34,200, 300, almost 400. We're exponentially climbing. It is absolutely insane. I mean, that's what happens when you just build a bunch of industry and nothing else. It gives there's a lot of jobs, and people want to come and work here. Why wouldn't they? It's Cuaveopolis. It's awesome. I'm also going to add just a little bit of commercial along this sort of main waterfront road here. And maybe just in a few other places as well. Just some corner stores and whatnot. Alright, so I added that commercial. I also zoned just a little bit more high density in some certain areas as kind of like a buffer zone before the buildings start getting a little bit taller. And you can see it's coming along. It's buildings are being built. Our residential demand is still absolutely through the roof, though, which is kind of crazy. And that tells me we do need to be building more high density than we do low density, which is kind of a shame for now, a little bit. But what I think it means we should do before this episode's out is pick another big skyscraper to be in our skyline and just have it be a big building that houses like 1,000 people or whatever. Because I have a few of those, and that'll give us a little something to look forward to in regards to our downtown once we really start getting deep with that sort of thing. If you're wondering why I didn't do the downtown first, it's because downtowns are complex, and I want to build it once we already have the basics of the city running, like our industry and, you know, some a few businesses and things like that. But once we get to, you know, a higher population, I'm definitely going to start working more on downtown and mass transit and things like that. But let's go ahead and take a look at an interesting building that we could throw into our skyline. Alright, I'm feeling very drawn towards the Hancock Tower from Chicago right now. There we go, we got over 450 households moved into that already. And this might cause some traffic issues, we'll have to wait and see on that. And we still haven't even taken a chunk out of our residential demand. That is absolutely insane. We're almost at 40,000 people now, any second now. And that's absolutely wild. I mean, King Square is getting almost fully developed. Beechwood Heights, same thing. We're gonna have to, all of this is all filled now too. I mean, wow guys, 40,000 people. And it's still absolutely pinned to the top of the gauge. Unacceptable. Unreal. Okay, well at this rate we might as well lay out the streets for one more neighborhood before we call it quits. And I am going to go back and add some detail to these. A lot of it I'll do off camera. But I will, don't just think I've completely abandoned them. Because there are like lots still undeveloped and stuff. But I'm going to develop what is currently called Hemlock Park. What I think I want to do is find a nice pretty bridge. And on this main street. And there we go. Connect that up over the river. And then let's go ahead and switch to our roads with grass. Alright, so there's kind of the preliminary outline of Hemlock Park. If you're wondering what this little situation is down here, I think I'm going to use this as like a little service road for maybe a school or a shopping center or something. But for the time being, let's go ahead and assign some styles. Alright, so I zoned all the residential in Hemlock Park. We're up to 43,000 people now, which is progress. But that residential bar is still all the way at the top. I've now built like 3 or 4 neighborhoods. And it is still just absolutely at the top. But that's okay. I mean, clearly we still have a ton more room to fill in. So that's quite alright. We got all the time in the world. That probably is going to do it for this video, though. Just because that's a lot of me just building grids, and you don't want to watch too long of that. So thank you very much for watching episode number 6. I really look forward to making episode number 7 for you guys. Please, 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 if you have any suggestions or feedback or anything like that, please drop them in the comments down below. I also want to apologize because it is 90 degrees outside the day that I'm filming this or recording this. And my AC is going like extra hard, so I'm gonna try my best to EQ that out when I edit the video. But if you just hear really annoying sounds the whole time, I'm sorry. Summer's halfway over. It'll be done soon. Thank you guys very much for watching episode number 6, and I will see you in episode number 7.